Happy Friday, everybody out there. It's your boy after a shower, no shave, and a hair dye. That's why I look really black. Some people got to do what they got to do. What are we going to talk about on today's video? I'm doing a TV show review. That's right. I was blessed to go live stream yesterday, have a wonderful time. Then I made some good food. Oh, you see my fingers? Look at that. I got dye all over my fingers. Beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, some people actually get tattoos with like dye like that on their finger. And it's funny how it's on my middle finger. I didn't have gloves. I literally didn't have gloves when I dyed my hair. But that's neither here nor there. After going live streaming, I decided to make some good chicken and rice and beans. And then I was calming down because I had some anxiety and some other stuff that happened yesterday. And I decided to watch some TV shows. And I didn't realize Daredevil Born Again was out. So, I'm a big fan of Daredevil, so I decided to watch it. The first 2 episodes, I mean. And I'm going to give you my review. This will be a spoiler review for the first 2 episodes and maybe the previous show on Netflix from a couple of years ago. So, if you haven't watched it, come back after you do. And then hopefully my hair dye won't be so ingrained in my skin anymore. But I don't know. That looks kind of cool with my lips. But please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of this channel for early and exclusive content. And there's donation portals down below if you feel like supporting me. I am struggling, you know. And hopefully I entertain you and I earn your support and your donations. I have merchandise available in my merchandise store down below. So thank you. Thank you guys for putting up with me. I got cameos. If you want a cameo, I'll roast you. I'll do some jokes. I'll tell some stories. Whatever you want. For 40 bucks on Cameo, it comes with an autographed picture sent to you after the fact. It's a good deal. That being said, let's talk about Daredevil. Oh my God, I was so excited when I found out Daredevil was back. I wasn't excited to know that it was on Disney because Disney ruins a lot of the superhero type stuff, especially with Marvel nowadays as well too. And I'll be honest with you, Daredevil on Netflix was my jam. I loved it. Jessica Jones was good as well on Netflix. I also enjoyed The Punisher on Netflix. And The Punisher, as well as Daredevil, had like episodes together with actors going onto the different shows. And then they came out with the Iron Fist. And then there was, I forgot, Luke Cage on Netflix. So it was a nice little bit of a Marvel run on Netflix. And Daredevil lasted, I believe, 4 seasons. A good friend of mine was on that show. Shout out Eldon Henson. He played Foggy Nelson on the Netflix show as well. So I was surprised that there was a new Daredevil. I know the Daredevil character did some guest appearances in She-Hulk, where he kind of hooked up with She-Hulk on the Disney Channel. And I did hear rumblings they were making a new Daredevil, but I thought they canceled it. So when I found out it was out, I was like, but I guess they canceled She-Hulk, not the Daredevil. So I was so excited last night to watch something that I was really enjoying. But I was scared shitless. Is that how you say it? Because of Disney. Let me just first off and give you my results, so you don't have to watch the whole video, but if you enjoy my entertainment, you can. It was fantastic. It definitely played off of the Netflix version of Daredevil. It was fantastic to to relive these people again and these characters. And it kind of took off where the Netflix left off, kind of. I mean, I do have some issues that we'll discuss in a minute, but it is really, really good to see the characters back. Now, getting into spoilers, a couple of the characters passed away. Well, one of them in particular. Foggy Nelson. They had to start the first episode off with a bang, and they had to kill one of their previous characters. Foggy Nelson got eliminated by Poindexter. And if you watch the original Daredevil, Poindexter and Daredevil, or what's his name, Murdoch, they had some fight scenes. Poindexter is basically Bullseye. If you remember the Daredevil movies and the Elektra movies with Ben Affleck, I think in 2003 or 4, Poindexter eventually becomes Bullseye. He's not completely developed in the first Netflix Daredevil series or this one. He wasn't wearing the suit, but Poindexter made an appearance to start this show off. And their fight scenes from Netflix are legendary. It was damn good in this first episode as well. I mean, throwing knives and weapons and paper clips at a fly. And it started off with the epic fight scenes that happened in the original Netflix series with one-shot camera works, and it worked. It frickin' worked. Albeit being said, the original Netflix series of Daredevil into Born Again is little bit filmed darker. More like in Hell's Kitchen is the area, and it's more seedy and all that other stuff, like with the graininess of the film. This Disney version is more lighted. But in the fight scene, they had a lot of smoke going around it in the fight scene. So you have to pay particular attention to the knives and everything that Daredevil is doing against Poindexter while they're fighting in a bar after he just basically eliminated Foggy Nelson and started hurting some other people at the bar. But it was a really good fight scene, but there was a lot of smoke. Disney tried to make it brighter and cover it up with smoke so you couldn't see blood and all that other stuff. That's the only issue I kind of have with it, but they did show blood on Foggy Nelson a lot. But that was to drive home the fact that, you know, if you're just coming into Daredevil Born Again, why do I keep looking there? It's right there. If you're just coming into Daredevil Born Again, you don't really have to know the backstory. And you see the gruesomeness of how Poindexter eliminated Foggy Nelson. And boy, that was heart-wrenching. That was heart-wrenching, not only because he's a friend of mine in real life, but because I love that character from the Netflix series. Then Karen was there as well, their partners in the lawyership, in their law firm. And it started off with a bang, and I was sold from the first 10 minutes. And I was so invested. The only issue I had with Poindexter showing up is there's a backstory of him and Wilson Fisk, who is the Kingpin. We'll talk about him in a minute. Why didn't he, go after Kingpin or his wife before Foggy Nelson and Murdoch? Because he has a history with Kingpin's wife where he tried to kill them both. And now that he's either out of jail or whatever the hell happened, he should have went after them first. They seem to be the bigger enemies from my perspective. Is he a hired gun by Wilson Fisk or Kingpin? I don't know. Fascinating to think about. Now that brings me to Kingpin. Greatest enemy on TV screens. Greatest enemy on TV screens. Let me know if you think of a better enemy on TV screens than Kingpin. The actor Vincent D'Onofrio is fantastic. Scary as hell. His voice inflections, gotta do this. I got out of jail. My wife, I need her back. Fantastic. He had a lot of guest appearances in TV shows throughout the years after Daredevil on Netflix was canceled. That storyline continued with, what was that show? Echo, that was on Disney, where he was mentoring the girl of Echo. He eventually got shot like in the neck or the head. He was also on the Arrow series, I believe, as well. But I love Kingpin back here. And it starts off with Kingpin sort of making amends. I don't need to give you all the play-by-play. I could just give you, but I'm enjoying talking about it because I freaking loved it. Kingpin is making amends. His wife took over the business. She's now the leader. They're trying to go straight. And just like in the comic books, he's back. And he's now running for the mayor of New York. In the comic books, he is the mayor. And now he's officially running for the mayor of New York. And he becomes the mayor of New York. I told you this was going to be spoiler-free. But it's a fantastic watch and one of the best evil villains on television. And the fight scenes with him and all that are just epic. And it's interesting. But Murdoch and his relationship with Karen, I believe that's her name, is no longer. Murdoch disappeared. He let go of the Daredevil outfit. He actually let go of the outfit in the beginning of this episode, but he was kind of forced back into it to try to go after Poindexter. And he all of a sudden had the suit on, but he didn't want to have the suit. And he didn't want to go back there, but he was kind of forced to try to save Foggy Nelson. And after the event of losing Foggy Nelson, they went their separate ways, him and his law firm. Now he has another law firm with another person from the universe, and another big person in the universe found out who he was, and now they are partnering up, and apparently there's vigilantes on the loose. And then Kingpin is now the mayor, and he's saying he's going to get rid of vigilantes because Daredevil is a vigilante, and there's somebody named White Lotus or something like that, White Tiger. And so now Murdoch is now defending a vigilante for a murder against cops. And then Murdoch, or Daredevil, and Kingpin have a meeting to try to get on the same page about what's going to happen now that he's the mayor. And it's a fantastic scene. They're sitting like at a diner, and it is just freaking fantastic. You could cut the tension with a knife. I want to let you know that I am now the mayor. Like, oh my God. Look, I got to watch it again. It's fantastic. So I don't want to give much more away. I want you guys to watch it yourselves. A lot happens in episode 2 as well. But I'm telling you, one of the greatest comic book characters and villains on screen, in my opinion, are of Daredevil and Kingpin. And like the Punisher as well. There's also a group in these episodes that is possible a Punisher faction. They made references to the Punisher. Also, they made references to Spider-Man, to Punisher, and I forgot who the other person was that they made a reference to. It's another big superhero. But they called like Spider-Man a vigilante, Punisher a vigilante, and now Wilson Fisk is the mayor, and he's going after vigilantes, but he's trying to be a good guy, but then he became the bad guy. then he needs the cops to be on their side, because if the cops, because he's a former villain, he's a former thief, and the cops don't want him to be mayor, so they don't like him. There's a lot of dynamics of verses. And now Wilson Fisk doesn't want to go back to the person he was, as he's trying to turn a new leaf, but he kind of is forced to become the kingpin officially. Again, he cannot leave that moniker. And then his wife, he loves his wife, he wants her back, but she's apparently involved with other people, but running his business. And now he's in therapy, and he's in therapy with Murdoch's new girlfriend, who is a therapist that he's seeing. And Murdoch is blind, for people that don't know. And it's just, wow. It's a great show. I highly recommend it. I am so happy to have watched these episodes. And I wish all of them were online right now. I want to watch it. I want to see where this series goes. I'm hoping there's some appearances of Punisher, or the factions of the Punishers, or what the Warzone type characters from the comic books, where he has his own army, the Punisher Army. And I mean, I'd be so reminisced if they bring in more characters to this universe. Maybe a Luke Cage, maybe a Jessica Jones appearance. Maybe not by the same actors, but I would love it. And I loved how they mentioned Spider-Man and somebody else. I just can't think of the name. My apologies. But I really recommend this. I'm going to say these 2 episodes are the finest 2 episodes I've seen for a long time. I'm going to rate them a 10. Probably I'm biased because I was a huge Daredevil fan from the Netflix series, but I am overwhelmed with anticipation and joy for this Disney version, and I think they did it right so far. Will they ruin it as the episodes go along? Who knows? But man, this was a great start for the first 2 episodes. Let me know your thoughts. If you've watched it, what do you think? If you haven't watched any of this and you watched this entire video, please forgive me. But still, I recommend you watch the Netflix series and then you watch this series. If you are somewhat of a comic book aficionado or whatever of the like, and it's really riveting. I also recommend The Punisher from Netflix. Luke Cage was kind of decent. Jessica Jones was kind of decent. There's issues with more of those than The Punisher and Daredevil to me. Watch The Iron Fist. I enjoyed that one as well. But if I had to rank them, I'd put probably Jessica Jones at 5, Iron Fist at 4. No, I mean Luke Cage at 4, Iron Fist at 3, Punisher at 2, and Daredevil at 1. So, let me know your thoughts on any of this that I mentioned, and I hope you guys enjoyed my review. If there's any other shows you want me to review in the future, let me know. I'll do my best. I'm currently watching Reacher, Season 3. Andor is coming out on Disney very, very soon. I finished The Skeleton Crew from Disney. That was a decent show, The Skeleton Crew, the Star Wars. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you stayed this long, right, I love you, MRB, in the chat below. That's it for now. God bless. I'll see you soon. And hopefully you guys join me on my next live stream. Hit that bell. Become a member. Donate if you can. I appreciate you. God bless.